So as you guys know, the New York Giants have had a big problem over these previous years, which is that they've had mid quarterback after mid quarterback after mid quarterback after mid quarterback. But that's why today I'm putting various different Pro Bowl quarterbacks on the New York Giants to see which one could lead them to the promised land, which one could save them, and yeah, let's just get straight into it. Okay, so the first quarterback we have is Baker Mayfield, who led them to an 8-9 record, which obviously isn't good enough to get them into the playoffs, but let's see, how did Baker do? Okay, so Baker would have 3,593 yards with 24 touchdowns to 17 interceptions. So he didn't have a bad year, but he didn't really have that great of a season. He would almost have 2,000 yard receivers, but besides that, Mayfield cannot get the job done. Let's go to our next quarterback. Okay, so our next quarterback is CJ Stroud, which he would lead him to a 4-13 record. Wow. Obviously, they're not gonna make the playoffs. They're probably gonna have a top 5 pick, but let's see how does Stroud do with the Giants. Okay, so Stroud would have 995 passing yards, just barely under 4,000, with 31 touchdowns to 16 interceptions. So statistically, he outplayed Baker, but I guess Baker just got the better team or better simulation, or I don't really know. I don't know how Stroud went 4-13, but it's the New York Giants we're talking about here. As 2 quarterbacks through and we're already not even touching the playoffs, but either way, let's just get to our next quarterback. Okay, so our third quarterback is Justin Herbert, who would also lead the Giants to a 4-13 record. Wow, this time they finished as the 16th seed in the NFC, so they probably might have honestly got the #1 pick. But you know, let's check. Did they get the #1 pick? No, they wouldn't. They'd get the #2 pick. But wow, let's see how did Herbert do with the Giants. Okay, so Herbert would have 3,962 yards, 27 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. So, hey, his stats aren't even bad. They've all outplayed Baker so far, and Baker was the closest to the playoffs. But either way, we're already halfway through our quarterbacks, so let's just go to quarterback number 4. Also, if you guys are enjoying these videos, liking and subscribing would be really appreciative. Road to 2,000 subs. Yeah, let's just go. Okay, our 4th quarterback we put on the Giants is Jared Goff, who would lead the Giants to a 5-12 record, obviously missing the playoffs, being the last seed in the NFC again, and probably having a top 5 pick. Let's see how did Goff do with the Giants. Okay, so Goff would have 3,309 passing yards to 24 touchdowns to 13 interceptions. So it's a little bit more reasonable, but it's still not terrible for only 5 wins. But yeah, that's kind of crazy. So far through the 4 quarterbacks we've used this video, none of them have even sniffed the playoff. I mean, Baker was close, but besides that, we've had 2 4-13 records and now a 5-12 record. So these next 3 are gonna have to clutch it up. But let's go to our 5th quarterback. Okay, so our 5th quarterback of the video is Patrick Mahomes, who would lead the Giants to a 10-7 record, getting them into the playoffs. So finally, this video is not gonna be like fucking 5 minutes long where it's just missing the playoffs. But Mahomes gets them to there. Let's see how did he do with his new team, which I low-key just showed some of the stats, but whatever. Okay, so Mahomes was have 4,304 passing yards to 38 touchdowns to 10 interceptions. So our best quarterback season by far. And obvious because he got them into the playoffs, but hopefully we could do something here. Let's look at the bracket, so obviously I can add more time to the video. But yeah, the 6th seed Giant, obviously the Chiefs didn't make the playoffs with whoever the fuck Daniel Jones as their quarterback, but can we advance? Can Mahomes lead the Giants to a playoff win? Yes, he can. They'll beat the Bucks 27-16. How did Mahomes play? Mahomes 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. That's pretty Mahomey, but hey, they got the job done. Now they'll play the #1 seed Eagles to try to upset them. Does Mahomes have an upset in him? Can he get revenge for this year's Super Bowl with the Giants? Wait, we have an injury. It better not be Mahomes. It's Andrew Thomas. Well, that might hurt a lot, but either way, can he beat the Eagles finally? See, can the Giants to stay alive? They will beat the Eagles. Oh my, that beat them 17 to 24. Or Mahomes would have 1 touchdown, 1 interception. So he low-key got outplayed by Jalen Hurts, but I'm not gonna admit that. Either way, they're gonna play the Niners. I hope they could beat the Niners. Damn, Mahomes beat the Niners for a 3rd time in the postseason. Let's see, does Mahomes have it in him to beat the Niners again? We'll just sim to the Super Bowl. Sim to the Super Bowl. Does Mahomes have it in him? He does! Oh my goodness. The 6th seed Giants beat the Niners 39 to 35. Mahomes 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. He has the same as Brock Purdy, but Mahomes leads the Giants to the Super Bowl against the Ravens. So can he do the impossible? Can Mahomes lead this Eli Manning run with Eli Manning's team? But do the Giants have it in them? A moment of truth. Can the Giants pull off the upset? We'll see. And the Giants absolutely destroy the Ravens. Not that bad of a blow, but they'll beat the Ravens and win the Super Bowl with Patrick Mahomes as quarterback. And I think for the first time in this entire series, a quarterback has actually went to a team and fixed them. So wow, I did not expect that to happen, especially with the Giants. But damn, either way, Mahomes gets the job done with the Super Bowl win. Let's go check if our other 2 quarterbacks can do the same. Okay, so our second to last quarterback is Josh Allen, who would lead the Giants to a 9-8 record, which they just missed the playoffs as an 8th seed, which kind of hurts. They miss it by a game, but let's see, how did Allen do with the Giants? Okay, so Allen would have 3,738 passing yards with 27 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. So solid year, but doesn't really move the needle. He finishes 1 game behind getting into the playoffs. So either way, we have one final quarterback to see who can save the Giants. Even though Mahomes saved them, but whatever. Let's see if this other one can too. So let's go to our 7th and final quarterback of the video. Okay, so our last quarterback of the video is Lamar Jackson, who would lead the Giants to a 13-4 record. Obviously getting the playoffs as a number 2 seed. And let's see, how did Lamar do with his new team? Okay, so Lamar would have 3,819 passing yards, 27 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. So by far the best touchdown to interception ratio of the video. However, he wouldn't have the most yards, but still, whatever gets them the number 2 seed, it's gonna work, obviously. But yeah, can they beat their division rivals, the 8-9 Commanders, who snuck into the playoffs with a losing record? Can they beat them? They probably should easily beat them, but they will. They'll beat them at 28-20. How did Lamar do? Also, I didn't look at Mahomes' Super Bowl stats, but that's whatever. Lamar would have 227 yards to 3 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. So he had a pretty good opening round, but can he continue to do it against the Packers in the 2nd round? Wait, the one new injury, it better not be Lamar. Okay, Andrew Thomas, who's actually hurt again, which is kind of crazy because he got hurt in the Mahomes one. But hey, maybe that might be the key. Maybe Andrew Thomas is holding the Giants back. But can they beat the Packers? No, they cannot. They'll lose 35-28. Damn. But Lamar would play good. 294 yards with 3 touchdowns and no interceptions. So Lamar had a pretty good game, honestly, but it wasn't enough to beat Green Bay at home. So either way, if you guys enjoyed this video, comment down below what other teams I should do this with. I'm thinking some right now, but I don't know if I'm gonna do more. But yeah, just comment down below what other team I should do. As always, like, subscribe, and yeah, I don't know how to end these things, but